Hey guys, welcome back to another review of What's Poppin' here. Tim, got my buddy Tim here. How are you today, man?
Doing good. Getting ready to step in the ring on this one, buddy. I'm looking forward to it.
Step in the ring. Are you ready to punch the bag?
I don't know what's gonna happen with this one. I'm almost cannon right now.
Right. So once again, we apologize, guys, in advance. This review should have been out maybe 2 days ago or so.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for sticking with us, and I really hope you guys enjoy this one because we both have quite a lot to say. Maybe him more than me.
We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
Now, Birds of Prey in the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Now, let me go ahead and start off by saying that, well, first and foremost, we're going to do a first non-spoiler, second half. If we have any things that we want to touch on that are spoiler related, we will let you guys know, just in case if you guys want to click off. But like I've mentioned before in the past, I went into this movie not really expecting much out of it. I saw the last trailer, I did react to it, and I thought the trailer looked pretty good. I was like, all right, I'm intrigued. I'm excited. We'll see what's up. But overall, I didn't, in the beginning, since the beginning it got announced, I never really wanted this movie to even like be a thing. And the reason being why is because the whole DC universe is very fucking confusing as it is already. And it just doesn't make sense that why she's getting an origin story. And that's, well, it makes perfect sense. But I don't think it makes sense in terms of story wise and what they're going with.
The grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I don't want to see Harley Quinn without the Joker. And that's just me personally. But it makes sense because they know that it's going, well, I think they thought it was going to make a lot of money because of the characters, that's pretty much the only character that they want to bring back from the whole Suicide Squad fiasco that happened. So yeah, this movie personally, I just didn't have any expectations at all. So I went in, no expectations, and I'm going to go ahead and let Tim, you tell me first. Okay. What did you think going into this film, first of all? Pretty much like what I told you is that, I had no expectations. And I want to know, what did you think going into it? And then give me your overall impressions of the film.
While remaining spoiler-free. Okay.
While remaining spoiler-free.
I'll do the best I can. Let me just say this real quick.
Get into it, brother.
The bar was set so low, it was on the dirt. And somehow they still couldn't jump over that. They still tripped. They still somehow didn't make it over the jump. I went into it with so little anticipation or hope or expectations for quality, and was still just flabbergasted at the sheer shit show that I endured. I hate this film with a passion. Oh God, holy God! I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, so I'm still it's pent up. But I will say this: the editing. What in the hell kind of? I can only imagine someone was like, wait, do that. We forgot to put this in. Throw it in now. Like, just panic ensued with drugs and beer and liquor were involved, and they were just slapping their heads on the keyboard, throwing whatever they could everywhere which way, trying to make it a narrative. But like, what? Okay. I'm going to be so bad about this, trying to keep it.
Yeah.
All right. Besides that, very much, in my opinion, they borrowed extremely heavily from Deadpool in tone, in gags, in overall taking Harley as a character and going, hey, we don't know who she is, but Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool did jokes like this and it worked, so let's do that. Things like that throughout the movie that just really irked me. I thought the cast, for the most part, really didn't work for me.
Okay.
Several
Wow.
several choices. I was like, interesting choice. Like not even just on.
Even I'm sorry, let me just cut you off.
Yeah.
Even Ewan McGregor, he didn't do it for you either.
Mm-mm.
No, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Man, I tell you, I don't know why. This whole movie it was a bad time for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure some of like the actual casting, like I don't mean it as far as the people themselves, the choices the actors made, or it could have been just a bad script or whatever, or the directorial choices for having characters behave a certain way. Really, really just was a total shit show for me. I will get into specifics with spoilers and stuff, but just giving my overall thoughts.
Give your overall thoughts.
I can't think of a single moment right now. I'm sure there's one. There has to be one in the movie that I was like, I liked that. But right now, I can't even think of one that I was a fan of with this movie. I hate it.
Wow. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think, okay, for those of you that are unaware of this, but this movie is R-rated, which a lot of people didn't even know.
No.
Because I didn't even, actually, I did know it was R-rated, but it didn't actually hit me, or I didn't get reminded until I was started watching the movie. Then I was like, oh, wait, this movie is R-rated. Like, oh, shit. Do you think it earned its R rating? While watching this movie, like, do you feel like it did?
Earned it, yeah. I mean, they took the R rating with it, and I think that's just they went with the R rating on the premise of people thinking, ooh, this one's going to be edgy and stuff like that, when it was childish reasons to get an R rated movie, not quality.
Okay,
yeah, that's just my thing. So bare thoughts, no spoilers. I say personally, it's so fucking burnt. It's on the same level as Grudge.
Ooh! Oh shit! Okay, cool. Tim said it best. Well, for me, in my opinion, it was rough, guys. It was a really rough watch. Now, I do think that Margot Robbie is a terrific actress. I think she's fucking awesome. I think she's pretty good as Harley Quinn. I never liked her character's wardrobe and stuff like that. It screams Hot Topic the way you've said it best. It still screams Hot Topic. I was hoping it wasn't, but it still screams. The only segment that I really enjoyed her outfit in was when she, which this is in the trailer, so this is not spoiler. When she walks into the Gotham City Police Department, she has that
I agree. I agree.
Cloak thing and the hat. I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. That reminds me. That is definitely Harley Quinn-ish.
Yep.
And then she takes it off, and I'm like, okay, we're back to fucking Hot Topic. But yeah, she has the voice down. She has the character, the mannerisms and stuff like that. I think she's got that down. So I'm curious to know, because apparently she's already casted in the new Suicide Squad, James Gunn's interpretation of Suicide Squad.
Correct.
She's already casted in there, so I'm curious to know how he's gonna go in terms of wardrobe for her, and also in terms of her character in the Suicide Squad, because I got faith in James Gunn. I think he could turn things around.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good actor.
I think he's gonna do great, and I'm curious to know what he's gonna do with Margot Robbie's Harley. So we'll see with that. But sticking to this film, like I said, I don't give a fuck enough about Harley Quinn for her to be having her own movie. I love Harley Quinn with the Joker, but I don't love Harley Quinn by herself in the so-called Birds of Prey, which we will get into spoilers about that. Now, some of the other characters, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she played the Huntress. I thought she was pretty cool. I personally thought she was pretty cool, and she probably had the best origin story out of all of them. And I'm literally nitpicking things to like about it. And then Journey Smollett Bell, which is she played Black Canary in this film. She was okay-ish. Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask, aka What Mask? Yeah. Ewan, fuck, man. Even Ewan couldn't even fucking save this film, bro.
Did you like? He
really couldn't do it.
Actually, never mind. Ignore my question. I'll save that for spoilers. Go ahead.
Yeah,
continue.
and then we had Chris Messina or Messina. He played Victor Zsasz, and I hated Victor Zsasz in this fucking movie, dude.
Well, I didn't know he was going to be in it, Zsasz, as a character. So, like, that was the one thing. Okay, so this is the one moment I had a hope. I was like, like, I had a moment, was I realized Zsasz is in this. And I'm like, Zsasz is a really cool character. Didn't know he was going to be in this. We got potential. And then 5 seconds later, I was like, damn it. Okay, he's not. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's he sucked to say the least, man. Yeah, he was very bad. And then the man, I thought this actress, I think she delivered her lines, she did the best she could, right? And I don't want to hate on her personally, but her character was just really fucking annoying. Was Jay Bosco, Ellie J Bosco? She played Cassandra Cain, which is
the
apparently
child.
I didn't realize this, but then later on she's like a future Batwoman.
Really?
Yeah, in the comic books, I think Cassandra Cain's like later on, like
I didn't know that
she becomes Batwoman.
Okay.
Yeah, from whatever.
That was the child actor, right?
Yeah, the child actress. Yeah. I thought her character was fucking annoying. Like, I didn't care for her character at all. And just the story was just.
This is the most basic bitch fucking script for a plot. He has lost a diamond. We gotta make sure we get it to him without dying.
Yeah, and then I was really hoping that they were gonna completely ignore the whole Joker thing, but the entire movie's almost based off of that, situation with Harley Quinn and a relationship, and the way they do it, it's just so lame, dude. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just this was a rough watch for me as well. And this movie was supposed to be funny at times, and I didn't fucking laugh once. I chuckled at an ending scene because I just wasn't expecting that. But that's it. Everything else, the joking points, just
or cringe.
Yeah, they were pretty fucking cringe, man. They were not enjoyable. Like, I didn't think the movie was funny at all. I didn't think it was funny, like, period, at all. And not only that, but this movie didn't make a lot of fucking sense in terms of being realistic. Like, this is probably one of those movies that is, like, really, like, it is very comic book and cartoon-ish in terms of the stuff that happens in the film, which we'll get into spoilers right now soon. Because it's just like, what, like, I'm like lost, like, how are they doing that without other people getting involved there? Like, what is going on? Like, I was trying not to nitpick. I was really trying to just watch the film, but I couldn't help it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's a lot.
And then also Rosie Perez's character, Renee Montoya. I thought she was fucking, like, I thought she was whatever's too, man. I like Rosie Perez though. She's been in some other films and she's really good, but this one, I just think, like, a lot of the casting in here, it was all miscasted, and it was colorful for no fucking reason, in my opinion. It was just way too out there. I just really wish this movie didn't fucking come out, dude. It sucks because the reason why is it makes the universe so much more confusing. Because apparently, I hope this doesn't happen anymore, but there's going to be a Gotham City Sirens movie, right? And the Gotham City Sirens is Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Catwoman. And now, does this mean that they're going to be using Matt Reeves as Catwoman? And
okay, I have an answer to this question.
No, listen. And if they do decide that makes all this canon, and which kind of confuses more of this stuff. Like, once you watch this film, and once we get into the spoilers, it just makes the whole DC universe really fucking confusing.
Yeah. So the answer to that question is actually not spoilers at all. The director for the first Suicide Squad movie, not James Gunn, but the other guy, which I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, has gone on record saying it's its own separate thing. We covered that in a podcast a little ago. This is a direct sequel to that, and so I view that as a continuation of that singular one-off, not a part of the main cool, decent-ish moments.
So you think it's possible that we might get a different
what do you mean, like the different Harley Quinn? Like if we ever see her with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, because that's the only Joker that's still out there right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see a different person play that Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Personally. I mean, I'm going to be very harsh with the words I share.
It's the truth. It's just because this film seems like it's on his own fucking thing. It really does.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I want to get to scores and I want to get to our spoiler points because I have a few things and gripes that I want to go, toe to toe with. So, I personally, like I said, I'm nitpicking things here to like. I had one chuckle throughout the film. The movie wasn't entirely like unwatchable. I will say that. I was still like somewhat entertained. It wasn't unwatchable, but I was like, as I was watching it, I was really a lot of things kept standing out to me that it was just bugging me. And also the action in it was pretty entertaining. The fight sequences, I thought they were really cool. Some of them were really cool. Particular fight sequence that goes down in GCPD with Harley, I thought that was the choreography to that was pretty crazy on that one. And it gets brutal at times too, which we'll talk about that. And so I thought, the choreography for some of those were really good because apparently I didn't know, but some of those fight sequences were by the same person that did John Wick 3, which I can see it now with the whole, brutalness and stuff.
Sure.
Some of the other ones weren't. So I can pinpoint which ones were and which ones weren't. So, yeah, I think as a final score, I'm going to go with the 2 out of 5.
Okay.
So that's,
stale.
I'm going to go with stale. Yeah, I'm going to go with stale.
Okay. Well, you already heard mine.
Yeah, so you give it a 1, right?
If I could go lower, I would. But yes,
you would go with 0 if you could.
If I could, but I can't. So
okay,
burnt.
All right, so there you go, guys. 2 out of 5 for me, 1 out of 5 for Tim. Now, if you guys want to stick around for some spoilers, you guys probably doesn't show any interest at all. You guys don't mind hearing our spoilers.
If you want to hear me go off on a fucking tirade, stick around for that.
Yes, stick around for that. But if not, once again, 2 out of 5 for me, 1 out of 5 for him. I personally do not recommend that you go watch this movie. Just ignore it. Just go watch James Gunn's interpretation of Harley Quinn with Margot Robbie. We'll see what they do with that. And I think James Gunn is going to fucking kill it in terms of these characters. So we'll see what they do with that. And I'm pretty sure he's going to hit the comedic points in that film. Not like this one. But do you recommend this film or do you just say skip it?
I couldn't recommend it less.
So I think it's a skip for it.
Yes.
But with that being said, let's get into the spoilers. First one I want to address, and I want to hear your opinions about this, is how the fuck does Harley Quinn walk into a police station, draw a fucking grenade launcher that is filled with confetti and colorful smoke without any of the policemen, which should be hundreds in there, draw their weapons and shoot her? They did not do that. She got away with just going in there, kicking every fucking cop's ass without any of them actually drawing a gun. I think one guy drew a gun, but that was it. Everybody else was just like standing there, just waiting to be shot.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm just like, wait, what? Like, how do you just don't do that? You don't. That just doesn't make sense, and that's what I mean by you have to shut the fact that this movie is very cartoonish and unrealistic at a lot of times. Like that particular moment when that happened, I was like, I lost my shit. I was like, no fucking way, you're walking in there with the grenade launcher, and just gonna go save this girl, which is Cassandra Cain's character. Not really save her, but she had something of hers, which was a diamond, which we'll get to the whole plot synopsis of the story here. But it's just like, what the fuck? What did you think of that at all? I'm just curious to know.
Okay. God, I don't even know where to begin with that or this whole movie. Okay, with that particular segment of the movie, you say that you found that kind of enjoyable choreography wise. I didn't even find that enjoyable. Like, she's walking in there, says a quick one liner, and the cop's like, what? And then they're all idiots. And I don't know. I have a friend who's a police officer, right? And I saw firsthand what he had to go through to become a police officer. These people go through some shit to be a police officer. Usually, I will say that. They get pepper sprayed in the eyes. They take beanbag shots from a gun to the chest sometimes. Like, they're used to some heavy shit. And if there's a bunch of them in a police station, you're getting laid out. Now, because this movie is I want to say, without being too mean to Margot, an ego piece of a film where she was head of a lot of decision making and a lot of the production because she was a producer of the film as well. I feel like she was like, wouldn't it be fun for me to play Harley doing these cool things? And not so much, is this at all making sense with who Harley Quinn is as a character at all. She wanted an excuse to run around shooting colorful things at officers, and that's what the scene was. It's an ego trip.
It really was, man. Now I want to get to the basic plot synopsis here. So the movie kicks off with pretty much like a Harley Quinn origin story, and then it leads up to the point where she became what was it, a therapist, right? Or was it a psychiatrist?
You got a
psychiatrist.
You got to note too. It starts off with her talking directly to the audience, aware that she's been through this shit, and I think she even references the fact that in the previous movie she breaks the fourth wall in her dialogue, which Harley Quinn can't do in the comic books, never has done. She's not aware that she's a comic book character. That screams to me Deadpool beyond Deadpool.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, what are you doing? And so then she's, like you said, she's recapping straight, like basically Suicide Squad and like with the events that led up to her being where she currently is. And she's in a shit show place.
And as they were showing the drawings, they're doing this by like little comic book drawing kind of ish, right? And I appreciated the Joker that they used in those drawings, because that wasn't Jared Leto's Joker, because he had the purple suit and he had the gray shirt, and it just looked more like a cartoonish Joker. And I was like, oh cool, they were gonna ignore Jared Leto, but
this is right after that.
And then right after that, they go back to they use some of the scenes from Suicide Squad with Jared Leto
falling into the acid,
all that stuff. I'm like, okay, never mind. No, Jared Leto's Joker still exists. Still a thing. They were not gonna completely ignore that, and so pretty much Joker just breaks up with her, kicks her out of the house, and that's it. That's what it was. And she goes through her fucking phase of her just pretty much partying, drinking, and she's going to like these exclusive clubs, and she pinpoints the fact that a lot of these she made a lot of enemies throughout the years being with Joker, but they can't do anything to her because they know that is the Joker's girl, and she uses that to her advantage because she doesn't tell anybody that she's not with the Joker anymore, because once they do, or once she does, all those people are going to want to go kill her now. Which pretty much that's what happens in the film. They find out that she's no longer with the Joker, and the first person on that list that wants to kill her is Roma Sionis, aka Ewan McGregor's character,
Black Mask.
Black Mask. And but she talks her way out of being killed, and she has to go save or go get a piece of diamond that Roman Sionis wants, but Cassandra Cain actually ends up pickpocketing Victor Zsasz' character from. So that's when that's pretty much the whole plot synopsis, where Cassandra Cain, little girl, has this diamond and she swallows it, and she pretty much throughout the whole film is like a whole thing of like trying to get it to shit out the diamond. And so that's pretty much it. So it's just Margot Robbie, or Harley Quinn, goes with Cassandra Cain, and they just go on a little mission of she's trying to pretty much protect her the entire time. And as they go along, they run into different people, which is like Rosie Perez's character, Renee Montoya. She's the officer in the film that does, is pretty much trying to bring down Roman Sionis and stuff. But she ends up, eventually becoming working together with Harley Quinn
in the latter half of the third act. That's when the Birds of Prey come into play.
Yeah. And so that's another thing. This movie is called The Birds of Prey, right? But we only really get to see the Birds of Prey, really, like Birds of Prey when they become the Birds of Prey, for like a minute. We literally only get to see the Birds of Prey for minutes here throughout the film. And so yeah, it's pretty much the basic plot synopsis. She has a diamond that Roman wants, and Harley Quinn is pretty much doesn't want to give it back to him, and they just end up, going up against Roman's gang. And I want to address the fact that Ewan McGregor barely wears the mask in this film at all, and that was kind of pointless. He's more Roman Sionis than he is Black Mask. He only wears a mask for like the last 10 minutes tops, maybe, and 5 minutes.
Fucking shitty.
Yeah, it kind of looked like shit. Now there was another thing here. I want to address some of the. Harley Quinn did have her hyena. She did what she did in the animated series, but she had two, and in this one, she doesn't even fucking use the hyena. The hyena is only in the film for like a little bit, like a couple minutes, and that's it. It runs away, and later on in the film, she ends up getting it back because he ends up fighting it again. It's like, what was the whole point of the hyena, man? Like, that was fucking pointless. And she used to use it in the animated series. She would get him to go fucking.
They would have a purpose, at least if there was enemies around. She would have the hyenas help with the
which
attack.
I thought they were gonna eventually do. Was she was gonna use the hyenas, but in this case, only one hyena, to pretty much where they were gonna have a whole fight sequence with Roman Sionis' gang members. She never uses the hyena at all. It's only there for that specific dialogue, which you see in the trailer, and at the very end, and that's it. That's the only time you get to see the hyena. So that's one thing. The other thing was, now, pretty much this movie is almost a fuck you to the men. A lot of this film is basically like men suck. That's pretty much what it was with Joker. Men is, Joker's a piece of shit. Same thing with the shop owner. He was a piece of shit. He was a man. There was a shop owner that pretty much where Harley Quinn was living at. He takes a bribe, and it tells her, well, they ignore the fact that they were friends at one point, but then he takes a bribe and he's like, well, that's the business. And there's a lot of points in this film that just pretty much make it seem that all men are pieces of shit. And even Roman Sionis' character, there's an awkward sequence where he's at his club and he makes a girl dance and remove her clothes for no fucking reason at all. And it just makes him look like a piece of shit. This whole film is, a lot of it is fuck you to the men. Not only that, let me point out the fact that Renee Montoya, Rosie Perez's character, she's being treated like shit in this Gotham City Police Department, about how all the men take all the credit for the the reports, the success of bringing the crime in. And even at the very end of the film, she was pretty much one of the main people that took down Black Mask, and they show that she didn't get the credit for it, and it showed that her boss ends up getting the credit, which was a man, and all the men in the police department are clapping for him, and she pretty much quits the fucking job. So it's just a lot of this movie was fuck you to the men, period. It was more women empowerment, which I get it. Like I said, I mentioned before, I'm all up for that, but it's just when they throw it in your face like that, when they give you like a fuck you, that's when it just gets kind of annoying and stupid, man. You can be badass. You can be a woman and be badass without having to fucking really throw it in people's faces that I am a woman and I'm badass. They've done it before in Aliens. They've done it before in a lot of these horror movies with Friday the 13th. Friday was it Nightmare on Elm Street, the first Freddy Krueger movie.
Yep.
Fucking amazing, where she finally goes up against a Freddy Krueger. She's badass, dude. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, they feel the need to throw it in your face. Like
okay. I'm going to let you keep going, because if I start, I'm going to just go. So, I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Right. It's just... So that was one thing that I wanted to address about. Another thing I really wanted to... So, in the final segment of the movie, right? They're pretty much trapped in this whole carnival-looking area, right? Which, by the way, the fucking background looks so fucking fake. You can tell it was green screened as shit. Like, I don't know how the production, just all of a sudden just looked like shit, but they had enough money to make everything else look pretty because of colors and flares and whatever, right? But for some reason that little part there just looked like crap. So they're trapped in this whole like carnival looking place, and I guess Harley Quinn had like a secret lair there of some sort.
It was an old hangout for her and Joker.
It was a whole hangout for her and Joker or whatever. And so the birds of prey there are stuck. So it's Harley Quinn, Renee Montoya, the Huntress, Black Canary, and it's the little girl Cassandra Cain. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna have a face-off with pretty much what it looks like 50 men, maybe 100 of Roman Sionis's men outside.
And for the record,
and hold on. Let me go ahead and finish. Right, and it shows them all gathering outside, and you see Harley Quinn looking outside the window like, oh shit, like they're about to come, and they're all gathering up, and they have guns, they have knives, they have all kinds of crazy shit. And Harley Quinn's like, oh my god, like we need to get some weapons or whatever. She opens up a closet hoping that there's going to be weapons in there. They have zero weapons. The only thing that they have are like bats and like a chain of pipe or whatever, right? That's pretty much it. That's all they have, and they're gonna pretty much destroy all these guys that have guns, right? Guns. Now we pan over to the next scene where they pretty much go into this one room and where there's a whole bunch of trampolines for some odd reason, and it's rotating. And they're all rotating, and these gentlemen walk in there, right? These 50 men, wink, wink, or 100 men or whatever, walk in, and none of them have guns anymore. All of a sudden, they just don't have guns. What do you think happens? They fucking pretty much beat up all these guys. And after they're done beating up all these guys, they're walking out all happy, like a fucking, like pretty much almost look like a sequence straight out of the X-Men or something. They were just kind of just like walking out all like badass and shit, not realizing, oh, wait, there's probably, first of all, Black Mask is still out there with guns, with more men's with guns, right? So they're walking out all happy, and then they're getting shot out. They're like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, if they just did they not just see outside their window that there was more men with guns?
Yeah.
And it's just, it doesn't, a lot of this whole fucking movie doesn't make any sense at all, man.
No.
And it's so frustrating, dude, because like I said, I had no expectations for this film. I really wanted it to work because maybe Suicide Squad was just like one of those movies that it was just like a miss, right? But this doesn't add anything at all. It just makes it worse. It really does. Now I want to talk about the moment that the one time that I chuckled. One time that I chuckled was that basically, Cassandra Cain's character eventually ends up getting grabbed by Black Mask, and they go on this whole car chase sequence, which you see in the trailer as well. And eventually, they end up on a pier. Harley Quinn, Cassandra, and Roman has her by the neck, pretty much about to choke her, and she secretly plants a grenade in his pocket, and Harley Quinn kicks him off the pier and he blows the fuck up. Now I chuckled in that part because I was not expecting that. And he made the squeal like scream when he blew up. Which kind of reminded me of me.
Yeah, it was like that like that sound.
Yes. And he blows the fuck up. You see his limbs just slide everywhere. And I chuckled a little bit because I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, okay, that was very anticlimactic. I thought there was gonna be like this whole like fight between them two, but it was, it was so stupid, man. But that was the only time I really chuckled throughout the film. There was a lot of jokes being thrown out with each other. They never hit. The jokes never hit at all. They were just very awkward at times, man. I don't know if there's any other points you wanted to address, Tim, but honestly, those are the main ones that I just thought that were really fucking annoying. Especially the whole like men suck thing. I just thought that was like, why do you need to do that? Why? There's no need to do that.
Well,
like,
I'll tell you why they do it, and I'm being very, very. I need to specify because it's kind of dangerous if I don't. When I say why they do it, I mean the people who feel like representation and having well-written characters of empowerment, especially when they had in the past haven't had that decent representation, means you have to bring others who were represented well down to bring yourself up, which is not the case. That's not a pull-up. That's someone drowning everyone else. It's not the same thing. And I think that Hollywood sometimes does an excellent job with it and gets it right. Other times, for some reason, they think it's equivocal. Whenever you drag others down to propel yourself up, you're not. You're just drowning the other people too.
yeah,
You need to pull yourself up. Use that strength called good writing to pull yourself up to that level. And then the more times you do that as a writer or a director or a studio, it's a lot easier to keep pulling those characters up so that they don't have to be pulled up going forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's my preachiness about that particular topic.
Yeah.
And it's so often movies tend to do that, and it kind of starts to really irk me. But I 100% see where you're coming from with that, because I was trying to think, because my wife noticed it too. She's the one who pointed that out to me without me really noticing it, because I was so pissed off about other reasons. And she goes, even the one good guy in the movie, they had to make him bad. And that was the restaurant owner.
The restaurant owner, the shop owner. That's what I meant, was the fact that when they introduced him, you can tell like he had like a relationship with Harley Quinn. He was keeping her safe and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden he wants to accept a bribe. It's just like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And it just makes him pay. At the end, she even asks him, she's like, she's like, you turned me in or whatever. And he ends up turning out to be like a piece of shit. And there was the one guy that seemed like a likable character. He's actually a likable character when you first meet him. And then afterwards, he's just kind of like a throwaway, just like, what? Yeah. Like,
but no, I have a lot to say still. That you didn't cover with your points.
Keep going. Like, it's just, that's pretty much it, man. I think I addressed all the other ones. There was one really cool thing.
Okay.
That I didn't get to address because it's kind of a spoiler, and it's also a little Easter egg. There's a picture of Captain Boomerang from Suicide Squad. Which, by the way, I thought that the actor Jai Courtney, I think his name is. I
always get him. I get him and the guy from Venom mixed up a lot, but I think it was Jai Courtney.
Yeah. He played that role fantastic. I thought as Captain Boomerang, he was fucking awesome.
It's a funny character as a whole. Like, Captain Boomerang is pretty corny.
He's actually coming back. Him and Margot Robbie were probably two of the original people from Suicide Squad. They're going to be in the new one with James Gunn, because probably two best characters, honestly. But anyway, she catches a picture of him on like a wanted poster in the police department. She's like, hey, I know that guy, which I thought was really neat, because it was like an awkward picture of him just like So I thought that was cool.
It was a nod.
But other than that, everything else was pretty much shit. And like I said, it's not like it's an unwatchable film, but as I was watching it, I just kept slowly getting pissed off about everything else. And I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, you really are trying. The movie was trying really hard to me not like it. When I was trying my best to like it, I was trying to enjoy it. But I couldn't. I just couldn't, man. And the more that as days goes on, and I actually had some time to sit through it, and I realized, okay, I didn't like this film, because when I first walked out, I was like sitting at a 2 and a 3, right, almost leaning towards a 3, because of the whole choreography and the fight sequences were pretty cool. Because there's times where Harley Quinn, you know, she's fighting these guys and she's fucking wrecking their shit. There was a particular scene where she breaks this dude's legs, and I'm like, oh my god, and look brutal as fuck. And I thought that was really, really cool. But as I sat through it and I started to, you know, nitpick and write down the things that I really didn't like, there's more things that I just did not like, period, than I'd liked. So yeah, I still stand with my 2 out of 5, 100%. It's almost a 1, to be honest with you. As we keep talking here, I almost want to bring it down a little bit, but no, I have to set it a 2 out of 5. But you said you wanted to adjust some more things here.
Brace yourselves, because I'm about to have what I'm going to call on the podcast Tim Tantrum. Yeah. So here we go. This movie is a character assassination piece on a multitude of characters that I actually give a shit about. Let's start with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, her whole background, which she very quickly goes over and then doesn't address except for random ass moments where she tries to sound smart, but it's just her regurgitating things that honestly a general good friend could tell someone, not a psychiatrist. She's a psychiatrist. She's educated. She came from a shitty history with a shitty family, and then guess what? She goes and decides to make something of herself. She becomes a psychologist. What's a beautiful thing about Harley Quinn is that she isn't actually fucking insane. She's in the same way Joker is, where she's just comical, like a Woody Woodpecker, Bugs Bunny character. No, she's madly in love, like the episode that spawned her in Batman the Animated Series, Mad Love. She falls for Joker because he twists a story that is so sympathetic, like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie, that makes you feel for him. And she feels for him as a psychiatrist, so much so that she goes after him and she breaks him out. And then she just like, I want to help him because mean old Batman is beating him up and he doesn't need that. And then it becomes a Stockholm Syndrome thing, and she's a victim. And it's actually kind of a beautiful thing. She's not a wacky character to the degree of that. In the animated series, she eventually becomes a lot more comical with the longer exposure to Joker, to the point where she has habits now, but she isn't completely off her rocker. Then comic books and other adaptations of the character started to make it go into more of a route where she shows a lot more skin, where she's a little bit more floozy, where she's a little bit more wacky, more insane, which I have kind of I've had an issue with a little bit, because I feel like that takes away from the character's grip. I don't know. It's a little bit more of like a predictable thing rather than an interesting one to me. This one is even more of a misstep to those for me, because it's at a level of cringy hot topicness that just really makes it unbearable to me. Because at one moment, she's trying to be relatable. I'm going through a breakup. Cheese in my mouth. Ah. And then it pans down and she murdered this dude's leg. And then all of a sudden his brother's back in the end. And she's just doing all this reckless shit. But she's obnoxious. She's not funny. She says wacky shit that's out of character. But then she goes and does horrible breaking of legs things. It just feels so off. Like they kind of understood the character. But then they were like, it's actually this that we saw on a Hot Topic t-shirt sometime. Let's just do that constantly. I don't know. It really bothered me. Renee Montoya, the cop. She was also in, I'm very biased as it will come across, and I apologize for that. She was also in Batman the Animated Series. And one of the ways she was a standout in that was the episode POV, or Point of View. She's a very intelligent cop. She is proud of working with the GCPD. She is good colleagues and good friends with Captain Gordon. She is an ally, even though sometimes it rubs her wrong to be with Bullock, the investigator. I can't remember what the actual term is, but she's a very proud member of the GCPD. One of the few good cops in the GCPD who's proud, and she isn't squashed down at all by the GCPD, as far as I could tell, in almost any canonization of her until this movie decided to make it that way. She seems dumb at points too, even though she's trying to come across as smart. Just the way that, I don't know if it was Rosie Perez's delivery of the lines, but she came across kind of, I don't want to say airheaded because that's mean, but she came across like she didn't seem like she knew what she was saying.
Yeah, it seemed like her character was like out of like it belonged on a different movie.
Yeah.
And it was like her character did not fit into this universe at all. Like I don't know why. It just felt out of place. And there was this ongoing joke about her being like an 80s cop or having like an 80s mentality.
Yeah.
Which like
I didn't understand that either. I was like, the fuck are they talking about?
Like I said, like they were trying to make fun of her about that and it just wasn't funny.
Yeah. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character of the Huntress. So you liked her origin story, which is fairly accurate in the sense that
that was the only one that actually was entertaining to me, like, or that they could have easily made a separate movie of not just like the Huntress or whatever, but just like that story there just resonates more with like I know I've heard this or seen this multiple times, but it kind of reminded me of like a female Punisher. That's what I got out of that, because she eventually becomes, the Huntress, because her family was killed and she wants revenge, and so she ends up,
Yeah, well, that's okay. So my issue with the Huntress was the Huntress is like you said, a female Punisher kind of character. She's badass. She's a force to be reckoned with. And she is ruthless. I mean, there's been multiple instances where she has been called upon to join the Justice League and stuff, but her methods are oftentimes past what they're comfortable with, and she gets demoted. She isn't allowed to be back because she just rides that line too hard. At no point, to my memory, has she been an awkward, kind of shyish person.
You know what's the thing too is that in the beginning of the film, or when she was like kind of introduced, when she was in the motorcycle, she saved Harley Quinn's life at one point. She was still in that badassery, and she was very mysterious as to who this girl was, right? But it wasn't until she crossed paths and had actual dialogue with the shop owner and Harley Quinn, whenever she had to exchange dialogue with some of these other characters, that's when they made her seem fucking stupid and just that. Like goofy as hell. Like she became goofy the more she was on screen with other people. When she was by herself, or she was doing like her things, it's like
she's kicking ass.
All these mob bosses and doing this, like, oh dude, this is fucking awesome. But then her character just gets goofy, and then I can't take it serious anymore.
Right, I hated that.
I hated her character as it developed in this story. But from when they showed in the beginning, all the way up until the point where where she saves Harley Quinn's life or whatever, like, oh, this girl's fucking sick. Like I like her. Like she's a badass, and then she has a dialogue exchange with the shop owner. From there, it gets fucking terrible. The writing for her character just gets really bad. It just starts becoming a thing where she's just kind of like a laughing stock, like a joke character.
Well, I'll say this. The Huntress as a character is really cool. She's one of those characters that happens. So I'll say this too. A character that happens to be male or female can be badass or pathetic. I don't give a shit what's between their legs. It's what they do and how they portray themselves. And the character Huntress happens to be a female who is a badass, and she's awesome. And the making her an incompetent person and socially awkward when she's not trying to kick butt really diminishes that for me, and I hate it. Her origin is actually quite tragic in the comics, kind of like how they did in the movie. So that was fine with me, but the other character that was, I'll get to the others, but Black Canary. Okay. So Black Canary, I thought the actress looked fine for the part. I thought she could have been interesting. I think that the actress probably is quite talented. I remember seeing her in other things as well. Journey Smollett Bell.
Yeah, which I don't mean to cut you off here,
Yeah.
but which, by the way, I need to address this since we're on Black Canary right now.
Yeah.
They don't address that she has a superpower throughout the whole film into the very last second.
There's a hint because she
just-
shatters the glass, but that's
it was
it.
just a slight little hint, just like a little baby hint that you could possibly miss. But other than that, you have no idea that she has any kind of superpower to the very end, and it's just like, where the fuck did that come from? And she didn't address it once throughout the whole film.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Even with her little origin story that she had.
Black Canary is a character that also is really, really badass. And in multiple instances, she's butted heads and teamed up with, but also butted heads quite often with Huntress. Because she's a fearsome as hell physical fighter. She was trained by Wildcat, who's one of the best physical fighters. There's actually a tier list. There's I think 1 or 2 spots above.
And technically, she's not the original Black Canary. Her mom was.
Did they say that?
Yes. Black Canary helped with the GCPD, and Renee Montoya knew her mom. They addressed that.
Okay. Well, I didn't catch that because I thought they just said her mom helped. I didn't catch that she was called Black Canary.
Yeah. So her mom was the.
Well, that's okay. So I'll still say this.
So this is like Black Canary Jr.
I'll still say this though, because at the time, and I don't know if it was really well thought out.
Yeah.
Calling her Black Canary brings certain expectations, and those expectations is that she's a kick-ass fighter. That list I was just about to talk about. There's a couple spots, 1 and 2. Number 3 is Batman and a few others. She's on that top 10 list, Black Canary. She's badass as far as a fighter. She didn't show proficiency with martial arts. She didn't show proficiency in fight. All she really showed is that she can hit like everybody else in the movie around her. And how she was, and all the other ladies were taking out dudes who were probably 400 pounds of muscle with one hit. I don't know. But whatever. Her power is something that she's not shy to use, and she doesn't pass out unless she really exerts herself, which what we see in the finale, in that little burst moment in the movie, was hardly what I would say Black Canary should pass out from.
Which is in the trailer, by the way, too.
That was in the trailer?
Yeah, it was in the
That's
trailer.
shameful. That's just obnoxious. Yeah. Roman Sionis, Black Mask.
I think they could have done way more with this fucking character. They could have made him way darker, not so goofy, and like I said, he just had those random moments to get a random girl because he thought that she was laughing at him to take off her clothes awkwardly and dance. It was just a very uncomfortable scene.
Dude, okay. Again, I sound like a broken record sometimes, but this is very true for me. When a villain, right, is trying to be intimidating and trying to be someone that we should fear, right? You do not fear the man in the room who has to say, I am the king. Because a guy who says, I am the king isn't king after all, who has to say it. You know if that's the king. That's very Game of Thrones, what I just talked about.
Yeah.
Also, Kylo Ren from I'm going to go all over the place with this. Kylo Ren from Star Wars, the reason why he doesn't work as a villain is because he throws tantrums and gets laid out by a big baddie villain to be still needing training. And he loses all the time. You look at Jared Leto's Joker. He makes noises, acts tough, has damage written across, and goes, but does jack shit to actually be intimidating and chilling. The same thing happens with Roman Sionis in this, is that he's acting like a people's man and trying to be a mob man. You don't want go watch. Beef. Yeah,
you don't want no beef.
Go watch fucking what is it? It's got Johnny Depp. It's actually called Black Mass. That's why it brings to mind so much. Johnny Depp in Black Mass does it so goddamn well. There's a scene with him in that movie. I know I'm kind of side-trailing, but bear with me here. There's a scene in that movie where he's talking about, dude, this sauce is so good. He's talking about a recipe. He's like, you got to tell me this recipe, man. He's like, I can't. It's a family secret. He's like, oh, dude, come on. Tell me the recipe, dude. Tell me it. And And he pressures him, and the guy goes, all right, you know what it is? It's this and that. That's it. That's it. And he goes, that's it? Wow. Thought it was a family secret. And the guy, it's quiet. He's like, you just give up a family secret like that? And he has a whole moment where he just turned it on its head in a dime. And he's not shouting. He's talking calm, but very serious. And he had a moment like, there's never a moment with Roman Sionis like that in this movie.
Where there's never like a tension moment. It's more of just awkward and fun.
Yeah. It's trying, it's, oh God, it really pissed me off because Black Mask is one of those characters. It's like I don't want to say, it's not Filoni because that's the guy from Star Wars.
He doesn't have a superpower. He's just basically like a mob boss he's supposed to be ruthless as fuck. He really is supposed to be. That's not what they turned him out to be in this movie at all. And they kind of just throw away the fucking character. They kill him off, and they kill him off in the most jokingly way possible too.
Shit, dude, I was mad about that.
Screaming.
That was funny, but it still made me mad.
Yeah, dude, I remember me and my buddy were looked at each other. We're like, "What the fuck?" It was crazy. Yeah, it was so random.
And then the final one that I want to talk about as far as character assassinations, before I really quickly go over everything else, because we've been going for a while, guys, and I apologize about that, is Victor Zsasz. Zsasz as a character is chilling because he believes, what's crazy about him is that he believes he's freeing innocence to heaven. He's doing right, and he has to cut out the purity from them so that they can go to heaven. Yeah, and then he marks on his body.
Yeah,
he's a wild
all the victims of his killers, or all the victims he's killed. He scars himself, or
and he wouldn't be a crony for Black Mask. He would be doing his own shit.
Yeah,
and not just breathing heavy and just sitting there, not doing jack shit with the diamond of his boss if he is a crony. Sitting half-assed in his pocket.
He was a crony in Gotham, but he was more of like, he was like a contract killer almost, where people would like ask him to do things. But I like the way they interpreted him in Gotham more. Okay. Just because the actor that plays him played him very well, and he was creepy at times. In this one, he's always, and by the way, in the one in Gotham, he's never laughing. He's always fucking serious.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's just laughing all over the place. He's almost like a
drunk,
like a drunk. Yeah, it's just everything to him is really, really funny. Especially anytime Ewan McGregor does something, he finds it very hilarious in the film. And
it's stupid. And I heard people like, remember when we talked about it? We were saying like it's rumored that Black Mask in this movie is gay. I didn't get that at all. There wasn't a single moment of that. So even if they tried to do it, they failed fucking hard because it didn't come across. It wasn't well done. It wasn't key. It wasn't even subtle because I didn't even get that. I felt like he was just being manipulative and being his quirky version because he wasn't ever.
I saw the flamboyantness or whatever, but it was never really addressed that he was gay. Like it's not like they had him showing kissing men or whatever like that. No, they didn't at all. Which is totally fine by me. I'm glad that they didn't do that to show that he's gay. But like Ewan McGregor confirmed that his character was gay, so but like you're right, like they didn't do anything stand out to like
it's just whatever.
So
okay, so I'll wrap up this little rant here by going over a couple things really quickly. The editing, why I hated it so much is because it felt very spaghetti brain, where it follows a little thread, oh shit, go back over here, follow thread, oh shit, go over here. And I don't think that played well to the movie's strength. When we were talking about the plot synopsis in this recap, even in the non-spoiler section, you did it linearly because it's easier to say. And I think they were realizing how straight of a line that they had actually written. They're like, well, we got to spice it up somehow, make it interesting. So let's just fucking scramble it up. I don't know. The choice of music never at one point gripped me. Like, I'm not necessarily looking for a theme or a wow moment, but like, if you come out of a movie and you don't even remember one like string of line of original music, and all that they did to make somewhat moments of memorable was use classic rock songs that are just as good, if not better, if not muddled with the sound of the movie. I think the soundtrack was lackluster and stupid. At least it wasn't like a shuffle playlist like it was in Suicide Squad, where nothing seemed to fit at all. But I cannot recall a single tune from this movie or a theme or anything, which bothered me a lot.
Yeah, it was the choice of music was whatever. It didn't stand out to me at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to not recount things we've already covered. There's not too much else that I want to rant on. Plus, I've had quite a few days to kind of cool off of. I was right out of the theater, man. I was a burning hot ember about this, but I think I've cooled off a little bit. But I cannot recommend this movie at all. I hate this movie. I wish I had not spent the 2 hours I saw at the theater watching this.
Yeah, I won't watch this movie ever again, to be honest with you. Like, I have no interest in wanting to watch this movie. Like I said, I still think that Margot Robbie did a pretty good job. She can do a pretty good job with Harley Quinn, and it's noticeable at certain times when it's not over dramatic. Sometimes she can be very over dramatic as Harley Quinn. You know, it's just like she's trying a little too hard.
Yeah, she's too on, and there's no one there saying.
But there's times where she has it. Like, I noticed like that one scene where I keep pointing towards that. She has it, but it's just like she tries a little too hard at times. So I really am still excited to see her in the Suicide Squad.
Well, I think what would help
James Gunn wants to do with that character.
Well, like what you just said there, I think what helps is if there's a director who kind of does the time to research what the character has been in the past, not just this iteration, and someone who can tell Margot, hey, not so heavy on that take. Do a take a little bit back
like
off.
Direct her.
Yeah,
like
direct
properly.
her.
Yeah, not.
She'll be good at it, but like in Suicide Squad and this one, I've hated her as Harley Quinn for the most part. The Suicide Squad one, it was a lot to get through, especially just the daddy shirt and the booty shorts. It was just like, what are you trying to be? This isn't. What are you? I don't know what you are.
Yeah. So hopefully they can change up the wardrobe in that one too, man. Like I said, her wardrobe just really bothers me, and I get it. I don't want to be one of those fucking boomers or some old man that likes all animated series only Harley Quinn, where she's only in the Jester outfit. But I just want her.
That would still be very provocative, and it's not even a matter of that.
Yeah, but I want to see her in a Jester outfit, to be completely honest with you. Yes, there's only like a split sequence in the Suicide Squad where we get that.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of nice to get maybe the Arkham Asylum outfit of Harley Quinn, which we got kind of a hint at in this movie, because Rosie Perez wears the top part of the Jester outfit that is very resembles from the Batman games of Harley Quinn, and it's like bulletproof or whatever. So
that was a good touch.
I thought, it was a nice little homage there to that. So that was really cool. Other than that, guys, I mean, all the other characters, it was whatever's, man. It's a shame. It's a shame. So don't waste don't waste your money on this, please.
Or time.
Yeah. Just or time, especially. Move on from this. We did the damage for you guys. Like I said, 2 out of 5 for me, 1 out of 5 for Tim. Burnt, stale. And that's pretty much it. The next movie that we'd like to review for you guys is Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which, by the way, we've been hearing just positive things out of it, but we'll still see, because this movie, Harley Quinn, it was getting positive reviews for some fucking reason, which baffles me, because it's like, what movie are you guys watching?
Some people gave it 5 and 4 stars. A lot of people did. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't get it. It was getting critically, it was getting praised.
It was like at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes at one point.
Yeah, and so that was very interesting. Lets you know that Rotten Tomatoes can sometimes be very misleading.
Yeah.
Which is why we don't always go by everybody else's review. But it's interesting to hear what other people are thinking. You know what I mean? So that's it. But anyway,
the more perspectives you have, the more rounded position you have.
Exactly. So the next movie we will review will be Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So stay tuned for that one, guys. for next week's episode. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. And if you did, please hit a like and comment down below if you did watch the movie, or even if you didn't. And
why not?
and
Why didn't you watch it beforehand?
Yeah, why didn't you want to watch it? And you're welcome for saving you money. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Tim, appreciate you as always. Thank you for ranting with us.
You're welcome. It wasn't as heated as it could have been, but
no, you went in. You went in. But anyways, guys, take it easy. We'll see you guys soon on the next What's Poppin' review.
See ya.